who else would be giving out this pure, authentic info? Of course, it's cranky cameraman David Winters, and he's letting the whole YouTube audience know that his revenue is down 37%, which I think a couple years ago, no one would share that information. That's way too sensitive, that's way too divulgent, that's way too, you know, it's gonna change the way people look at me. Not anymore. That's why I love following his channel. That's why I made this channel. It's because I love the authenticity, because I can actually learn from people going through these real situations. So he just uploaded that video. It's packed with the reasons why, and I wanted to go through those 3 reasons and then kind of say how that relates to me or someone who's kind of in my situation. I'm in my mid-30s. I'm a freelancer. I have my own LLC. I make my living from camera stuff. I would put myself in the middle tier of production. I'm maybe even a little lower. I'm not in high-level commercials. I'm not in narratives, features. Sometimes I get to jump onto featured docs, which I really like. But for the most part, I can do a lot of my jobs with 1 to 3 people. So he's down 37% in revenue, which ideally you're never down in revenue from the previous year. He gave those 3 reasons. First one is conflicting schedules. If you are not a 9-to-5 person, if you have your own business and you're a freelancer or you're your own boutique production company, you know that it always is on the same day, no matter what. You would get people who will say, we got a 3-day gig for you. And then another person will say, we got a 5-day gig for you. It might be stacked right on top. It might overlap one day, or it might be the next day, but you don't have time to turn around from a flight to repack or whatever. And you have to say no, and that's up to you. Do you say no to the first person that you already accepted? Depends on your loyalty to each company, depends the ethics of your business. A lot of times you can't do both. And that is his first biggest reason of, they just landed more on the same dates. Okay, second one, steady clients are light. So if you've been watching his channel like me, you see that he does this bull riding sporting event every year. He has a couple of consistent jobs that happen every year, and he said it could be just budget cuts for the bull riding show. It could be he does a lot of E&G work, and this is an interesting one because normally you think, oh, I have my business, I can run it how I see fit, and I can go get clients if I want to get clients. I can convince them, you know, find clients that align with my services. Well, he does a lot of E&G work on the border in South Texas. And since the border has been sealed up, or there's way less migrants coming over, there's less news coverage. There's less calls coming through. And that's an interesting connection to him living his normal job and then this ton of activity he had for news coverage over the past few years, and now it's not there anymore. And for a couple of those, he was doing something else and he had to say no. And this has happened to me so many times where you say no because of, not because you don't want to go, but just because some other things are conflicting, and then they go with someone else. And then the time the next job comes up, they just go through the path of least resistance. Who was the last guy we called? He did a good job. Let's get him in there again. And you can be replaced easily like that. I've been replaced so many times like that, just because it's usually not personal. It's just, we're trying to get this moving, and the top of mind person was the person I worked with last. So, third reason, he said people are paying late. So the 37% down in revenue is not a concrete number. A lot of the invoices that are getting paid to him haven't landed in his bank account yet. They are still floating and waiting to be routed in. And if he did do an exact how much money did I make on the invoice level, he's really only down 26% this year compared to last year, which is still, I would still call that alarming. 26%, I don't want to see those numbers. But as you can see, there's a lot of different factors that are compounding right now. And he said, you know, it went from being, you know, net 30, 60, 90. He had one invoice that was 11 months late. And since he's 49, I believe, turning 50 soon, I'm 35, so I'm 15 years behind him. And this is the value of his experience and him sharing. He says, I've seen this pattern before. This is exactly what it looked like in 2008 with the great financial crisis. He said people were very cash poor, and now he's looking at the situation now as an economy indicator of like, oh, this looks very similar to what happened back then. And he was saying that at that time he was in Southern California, had a big hefty mortgage providing for his family, and then economy tanks, crashes. Nobody wants to spend money. Everybody's cash poor. He said, like, just to kind of get some space, he would just go out and ride his bike and let's just try to get through this tough time. But he had a contingency plan, or a plan he wanted to prepare for the next time. And that was, I need some money outside of the video business. So he started investing in real estate, investment properties, rentals, and now has that cash flow stream. This is stuff that doesn't get talked about in so many YouTube videos. People just talk about, what is the shutter speed? What is the blah, blah, blah? And these are the factors that keep a business alive. All of the technical information is extremely important in the beginning, and you kind of want to maintain a layer of what is technologically advancing as I go through the career. But it's really the business practices and being able to manage your money, be able to kind of prepare for the future if you can't predict it, and just be able to not put yourself in a very rickety, delicate financial situation. That's the last thing I want. And so now he said he's kind of like not aging out, but like getting towards the end of his career. He mentions it a lot in his videos, and he's saying, so I'm glad that I have the rental properties, and those are going to provide income right now. It's not a full salary replacement. I can't live off this in retirement, but it's helping. And that, of course, is making me think, okay, well, how am I structuring myself? Like, 15 years behind is not that long. I've been in the video business for 10 years, and that went by extremely fast. I feel like I'm still beginning and learning. Another 15 years? Man, that's gonna go by extremely fast, so I need to set up for things now. I would love to get a house, and hearing what he was saying about being kind of like being sandbagged by a heavy mortgage, of course, right when the economy takes a downturn, and how intense and stressful that is. I don't want that. But also, I'm in a 1-1. I have neighbors above me. I hear their footsteps. I hear them sliding the door close. It's annoying. It's not the worst. But I would like to have my own space. I'd like to have my own walls that I can drill into and not worry about anything. I can fix things. I can just have my own tiny little castle. But I have to do it in a smart way. And I can't just be too greedy with my eyes and then sign up for something that is horrible in the long run. I have friends on both sides, some that have taken very budget conscious approaches to what they can afford to get a house, and then other ones who have took a massive swing, and they'll say, you know, this is what I'm doing. I will figure it out. And then I have some other ones who bought during 2020 with like a 2-3 3% interest rate, and they're paying about what I'm paying for a 1-1, but they have a house. So I can't complain. I'm just working with the factors that we have. So David Winters, I hope you're not mad that I'm like airing out all your business, but I find it extremely interesting, and I can take these little pieces of information and kind of work with them to give myself a better plan. And yeah, just kind of wanted to put that out, see what you guys think. Lastly, if you go to his messages or his comments on that video, you will see so many new perspectives. Last time I checked, there was 125 comments, and it was everybody giving their perspective. Some were from Norway, some were from Georgia, some were from New Jersey. 40 years in the industry, 20 years. I saw one with 2 years. Everybody's giving their perspective, and you get to see, some of them are saying, this is horrible, it's the end of the world, no one wants to buy a video. Some are saying, I'm being routed into being a content creation campaign business, and that's not what I'm signing up for. I'm not signing up for designing social media content and how it can perform best on a platform. But I'm doing that because that's the only way to get the client. Some people are saying, like, I just started, I just invested, $5,000 worth of gear, and how do you do this? That's a tough one. So you get a lot of different perspectives of ages, years in the industry, locations, services that they offer. There's commercial DPs in there, there's E&G people, there's small boutique production companies, there's freelancers like myself. So I'm gonna kind of like keep going through there and checking through, but thanks, Dave. I appreciate you putting this video out, and I just hope the more transparency there is, the easier it is for all of us to get a leg up and to do the business well. I don't want to make all the mistakes myself. I'm trying to learn from other people.